Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. Today, as you can see, I'm not in my studio. Instead, I'm here at Lunicorno enjoying some delicious gelato and iced coffee together with my new friend Damien. Thank you so much for taking the time and chatting with me today.
Thanks for inviting me, Lukas.
Who are you and what are you doing here in Taiwan?
My name is Damien. I come from France, northwest of France called Brittany, and I've been in Taiwan for more than 15 years now.
More than 50? I've been in Taiwan for 14 years, and it's very rare that I meet someone who's been in Taiwan longer than me.
Yeah, usually they leave.
Exactly. Like 1 year, 2 years, like no more than 3. Yeah. So what brought you to Taiwan?
I was an exchange student with my university. I studied physics engineering back in France, and I got the chance to do the exchange with the Shida. Yes.
Okay. Was that like 4 languages?
It was still about engineering. So in France, my major was called materials and nanotechnology.
Okay.
And in Shida, I was at the electro-optics department. So only physics and quantum physics and stuff like this. Mm-hmm. So all related to semiconductors and lasers, semiconductors doing lights.
It sounds like Taiwan is the place to be then.
Yes, that was for me. It was a good opportunity. Everybody in the world knows about the famous Taiwanese semiconductors.
Yeah.
So as it was related to my major, for me it was a good opportunity to come here. Yeah.
But I have to ask them because it sounds like we're a very similar situation. If you come here as like a student, then you already have like a short amount of time, and then I assume the plan was to go back to France and continue your French life.
Yeah, that's what I did at first because I was only here for 1 semester and I had to go back to France to finish my studies and graduate. And after I graduated, I was young and free and I was like, yeah, I need to find a job now. Everything was open at the time. I had a good life here in Taiwan during my semester here. I was like, let's go try to find a job, especially as we talked earlier, like Taiwan is a country for semiconductors and stuff like this. So it was for me, I thought a good opportunity to find jobs. Difficult actually. I didn't think of it as an engineer. It's not easy to find a job in Taiwan, a foreign engineer, because there are already a lot of Taiwanese engineers, so they don't really look for ones.
Yeah, I can imagine. But I mean, you're still here, so you must have done something right.
So I got some good opportunities. I studied as R&D engineer for one company doing fans for computers. It was an interesting project. Then I worked a little bit for solar panels. It didn't work out. There's a patent engineers for semiconductors too.
And a patent engineer in Taiwan?
In Taiwan. When you apply for a patent, it's all separated from each country. So when you apply in Taiwan, it only works in Taiwan. When you apply in the US, it only works in the US. So they need the patents to be in Chinese for Taiwan and China, in English for the US. So my main work was to make sure of the translation to apply for the USPTO, the US Patent Office over there.
So can you just help me go back to your first time coming here 15 years ago? Because I remember I didn't know anything about Taiwan personally. And then I came here and then I was like, what is this? I saw snakes on the ground and every single day was just what is this?
And I was about in the same situation. I started learning Chinese during my studies. So I knew a little bit of Chinese. I could speak basic conversation. Teachers or Chinese, what we learned was mostly in China. Didn't learn much about Taiwan. We only knew Taiwan about the songs, the movies, stuff like this, but not the life here, the history here, the geography, the earthquakes and everything. So I didn't know anything. I arrived and I learned everything from start. Yeah. So.
But how did you end up in Taiwan then? If you said it was mostly towards China, why are you not in China? Why did you end up in Taiwan?
Okay, my university they had this teacher from NTNU who came to our lab. My teacher back then told me, oh, they're doing exactly what we're doing here. So it's a good chance for you to start working with them. Build a partnership between my university in France and NTNU so that I could study here.
That's so cool. I think you're the first person I talked with whose life in Taiwan is actually what it was supposed to be after graduating. Because I feel most foreigners, they will study something, then they will come to Taiwan. I'm gonna completely switch, become an English teacher just to stay in Taiwan.
Like I was saying earlier, it's difficult as a non-English teacher for a person, either a bachelor or a master graduate, to find a job here. We are more expensive than the locals. Usually Taiwanese companies, they go for the cheaper ones. Unless they have focused on something to international business or something like this, we're not really welcome as just basic engineers. I had the chance to find these open-minded bosses to say, oh, I want to have a foreign engineer in my team. We can broaden our horizon and have some new ideas, some new way of working out.
Yeah.
So I had the chance to meet these rare people around here.
And speaking about open-minded and great bosses, my boss over at thetaiwanshop.tw, meaning myself, has been so kind to give you all 10% off everything on the store. All you have to do is to use the link down in the description and use the coupon code TAIWAN to get 10% off everything at thetaiwanshop.tw. And if you didn't know already, The Taiwan Shop is actually my own shop where I both sell and promote Taiwanese items. We have everything from Lanbaito and Taiwan LV keychains to some very cute Taiwanese bears as well. And 100% of all the revenue will go straight back to myself and to my YouTube channel and my life here in Taiwan, so I can continue making videos just like this one, even if I don't have another sponsor who's willing to support me for this specific video. So please do yourself, your friends and family, and also myself a huge favor by going and checking out the Taiwan shop as soon as you finish watching the rest of this video. Was there anything else that you felt was like very different, like on the day-to-day life?
Everything.
Yeah.
Life in France, life in Taiwan, there's nothing to compare. Just at first, when I started to learn Chinese, everything was different, like French, English, Spanish, Italian. It's quite easy to find your way around. Chinese, all new. Arriving in Taiwan, building a life in Taiwan was starting anew from everything we know. Even going to a supermarket to buy some food to cook, you don't find anything you have at home, so you don't know what to cook. So then you find out the life in Taiwan is quite convenient. It's not expensive to go out for lunch and everything. You have 7-Eleven everywhere. Transportation in Taipei is quite easy, so the life is easy. Finding a job is the hard part.
Yeah.
Then the life you can get used to. As long as you like the food, I guess you can stay as long as you want.
So now, after like 15 years here in Taiwan, do you still feel like more or less French? Or do you feel like more or less Taiwanese?
My Taiwanese friends like to say I am Taiwanese already.
Okay.
I wouldn't go that far. I don't even speak Taiwanese. Just like you said, like most of foreign friends, they leave after a few years. So when I arrive, I guess like most foreigners we do, we meet with other foreign people and we hang out with each other, whatever the country you're from. And then people start to leaving and then you're just a few of them. So now I only hang out with Taiwanese friends. I'm going with them. It's all Taiwanese lifestyle.
For people who are watching this video now, like if they're thinking about maybe coming to Taiwan, do you have any like tips or advice that they should think about before coming here to Taiwan?
Learn the basics of Chinese. If you're a tourist, maybe you don't want to spend that much time on it. English would get you everywhere around the island. But if you want to stay, you really need to learn Chinese. That's my best advice. Otherwise, as long as you're open-minded, you can, don't like it, try something else. Kind of easy. And Taiwanese people usually are easygoing, mostly welcoming. So you can get around. People would help you as a tourist to find your way on the street, a worker here to get around in life, how to find some place, people helping you sign in the documents to get a SIM card or something. You always find someone willing to help you.
What would you say is your best thing about living in Taiwan, or your favorite thing to do in Taiwan that you cannot do in France?
Convenience. Everything is convenient, especially in big cities like here in Taipei. You don't need to plan much. Even when you go travel
it's
around
like
the
perfect
island.
for the French lifestyle.
Oh, yeah. Perfect for me. I'm not a planner myself, so I hate to plan stuff. So when I came back to find a job, I only had one backpack and my diploma. And let's go.
That's even crazier.
Yeah.
You didn't even...
I saved a little bit of money before in France so that I could go through the first month looking for a job.
That's good. But so if we go back to like you coming back then, trying to find a job, did you have any plan on the second time? Or like interviews lined up?
No interviews. I was starting to look for my job back in France. But as soon as they knew I was still abroad and not available immediately, people just stopped talking to me. So I was like, nah, I need really to be here. Whenever I got the opportunity of an interview, I can directly go there.
So you moved to Taiwan just for the chance of maybe getting like a job?
Yeah. If it didn't work, I would have gone back to France. My life would be totally different now.
Yeah.
But if I didn't try, I would have regretted all my life. And I stayed.
And you stayed. Oh, that's crazy. That's super nice. Yeah. You said like you're living quite like a Taiwanese life now. How does your normal day-to-day look like?
Now I work as a sales engineer selling lasers, and I work with Europe, sell Taiwan lasers to Europe, like kind of basic sales jobs in a Taiwanese company.
Oh wow! So you still have that long-term cooperation then between like Europe and
kind of
and Taiwan?
Yeah. That's kind of my key point, to be able to speak French, English, obviously, and a bit of German too, so it helps to.
German too.
And I speak Mandarin at work, so I kind of the liaison, the link between, and with a technical background, so I can help build projects between two sides without misunderstandings that we can meet in other cases.
That's amazing. Yeah. Even after now, like 15 years in Taiwan, like you're still like working on selling and promoting like Taiwanese products, like to Europe.
So that's my day life. And then in the evening, I play also a bit of saxophone, play some music.
Oh, okay.
And I play in bands with my Taiwanese friends. In the week, it would be like band practice sometimes, jam session Wednesday night.
What's the name of the band? How do we get to hear you play?
Okay, I've got a band called the Funky Brothers. So we play a kind of funky pop. Our singer is also Aboriginal from the Zoe tribe. She sings in Zoe language. I've got another band, we play ska punk. It's called Merry but Scary. Depending on the events, opportunities, we play all around Taiwan, sometimes a bit abroad.
Oh, wow. That's super cool. That sounds very different compared to like your engineering job.
My musician friends, they don't believe that I'm an engineer.
And your engineering coworkers don't believe you're a musician.
Co-workers, they don't understand what I do with music. Even though sometimes I bring my saxophone to work because I have band practice just after work. They're like, oh, you're playing the guitar. And my saxophone just looks like a saxophone. And I'm like, oh, okay, you need some teaching.
I'm now realizing that we need to take a short break to actually eat this hopefully delicious gelato. Can I just ask, like, why did you invite me to meet here? Do you just love gelato?
Oh, I know the people working here. They just opened the place in March this year, 2005. Very cozy and a very, very good gelato, Italian style. Recommend everyone to come here.
I thought it was kind of like a competition between like French and Italy. How can you be French but promoting like Italian stuff?
No, on gelato, they're the best. We are not racing.
100% recommend gelato too. Speaking about like gelato and food, how are you with like Taiwanese food?
I got used to it kind of quick, I guess. I'm French, so I can eat anything. Like weird food.
I don't think French people are famous for being like easygoing and eating everything.
Oh yes, we do. Like we eat weird stuff even more than Taiwanese. Frogs
and snails.
The snails.
Taiwanese
food is so plentiful. You have so much choice, so you always find something you like.
What is like your favorite? Like you go to
for basic ones, guotie.
Guotie, okay.
I could live on guotie.
I think like specifically like a guotie menu, that's like the first motivation for learning Chinese. Because like the first week you learn like all the new characters and you unlock a completely new flavor. So now that after like 15 years here in Taiwan, how would you describe living in Taiwan to like your family or friends who has never been here?
Actually, my family, they all came here.
Oh, they all came here. Okay.
They all visited. My parents, they were quite worried. Hear a lot of stories, but earthquakes, typhoons. So when my parents arrived, they actually came 3 times. They were at ease. All the life. They could understand why I would stay here. Nice people, nice landscapes, nice food, obviously. Everything easy, convenient. So they understood why I stayed here.
Going back to like your second career as a musician, where do you buy tickets or how do we know where you play?
The usual live houses. There are not so many around Taiwan. Pipe Live Music, which is in Gongguan by the riverside. There are a lot of concerts and then festivals all around Taiwan. Lately, the biggest one are mostly in the south of Taiwan, Kaohsiung. They have the Mega Port Festival, Takao Festival, Langrenji. I'm not playing at each one of them or all the live houses all at the same time, but when we play battles, all these festivals or these live houses.
Wow, it seems like you're keeping yourself busy. And then when you don't play music, we're having a delicious gelato and coffee here as well. It's important to also like balance it up a little bit.
Enjoy the little things.
Yes. Yeah. When you came here and like you started to like learn Chinese, did you ever have any like weird situations or just like miscommunications because of Chinese?
Mostly it's about the tones in Mandarin. I don't remember them at all. I can get along in Chinese. Like when I speak a full sentence, I get understood. But when I have to pick one word out of the sentence, I wouldn't know which tone it is.
And that's so annoying.
Sometimes when I try to get precise on something, the person in front of me would not understand.
Exactly. So many times when I go into like, for example, if I would come here and like order like gelato and it's like one specific flavor and I just say like that 1 or 2 characters for that flavor, it doesn't work at all.
One thing that surprised me when I arrived in Taiwan is the mix between Taiwanese and Mandarin in conversational Chinese. Like especially when you take a cab and it's an old driver, they speak Mandarin, but it's not real Mandarin. It's a Taiwan Guoyu, right? Like when they would ask me where I'm from, and I was like, I know the tones for this one. 我是法国人。哎，我韩国人。 they would hear that I'm from Korea. And then I realized like the way to say 法国 with the Taiwanese accents, you need to change the tones.
Wow, okay. I have like a very similar issue, but it's like when I meet my wife's parents, we would have a conversation in Mandarin and then they would just switch to like Taiwanese without realizing. Because like my Chinese is like pretty good, like I can have a normal conversation, but then they would just be like, completely switch, and then I just like stand there like a question mark, you know. I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah, it has happened to me the other way around when I was back in France, see my family, and I would talk with my brother, and I would just speak in Chinese to him. And he would just stand in front of me, like look at me strange, and I was like, what happened?
Wow.
I would say it again in Chinese, and it would still stay like this. And I was, oh, did I speak Chinese to you? I guess so, because I didn't understand a word you say.
That is true, actually, because I realized all these like quick words that you say if something happens, and like you react.
The daily life words that we use here every day, they come so naturally when I go back to France, because I don't go back every year.
Yeah.
And it would just straight to the brain in Chinese.
Yeah, for me it's like if something happens, I'll be like, oh, 天啊, I'm like, ayo.
Yeah. All these ones. Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me.
Thank you for inviting me.
I learned a lot about that some of us foreigners can actually have a serious career, meaning like you're actually doing what you like studied for. Yeah. There's not that many negative things about Taiwan, but I do feel like that's one of the compromises you sometimes need to make if you want to stay in Taiwan, that you might to like adjust a little bit more to the job market.
Yeah. Like if we compare, if I had the same job back in France and in Taiwan, obviously I lose money and free time working in Taiwan. Like benefits would be much better back in France. So it's not a career to make plenty of money or something, but it's a good balance for me for my life to have my steady job, my income, and then I can play my music and have good time with my friends.
Exactly. And of course, if you want to hear some more beautiful music from one of these bands or the other jazz or other festivals here in Taiwan, you of course have all the links down in the description below as well. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Lukas. Start with L as in like, ends with S and subscribe. Please do both, and see you all in the next one.
See ya.
And before you click away, please do not forget the link and the 10% off coupon code at the Taiwan shop, where you can get some super cute Taiwanese items and at the same time support me and this YouTube channel as well.